Throughout your lifetime, you've come across hundreds of different diets that people have told you is the right diet for you. The reality is this diet stuff can be a little bit confusing, but I'm going to clear it up today and share with you the true human diet, the diet that anybody can follow and see an enormous benefit to their health with. So stick around to the end so that you can start transforming your health today. Hey Wellness Warrior, I'm Dr. Zyrowski, and when it comes to an anti-inflammatory diet, it is something that you can utilize in order to transform your health. You know, we see all these diets out there and we get so mixed up in what we should be doing, what we shouldn't be doing. It gets really confusing. There's the vegan diet, the carnivore diet, the keto diet, the paleo diet, but the fact is what you need is this diet right here. The anti-inflammatory diet, which is focused on reducing inflammation in your body. And as you may know, chronic inflammation is the major problem that we face today in modern society. It creates problems in your body like arthritis, psoriasis, IBS, so lots of different gut issues, metabolic syndrome, like heart disease, high cholesterol, insulin resistance, you name it, asthma. But then there's even more issues that pile on after that. There's brain issues like brain fog, no brain energy. You have fatigue all day, you don't sleep at night, your thyroid's all messed up. This is all a result of having an inflammatory problem within your body. So what we want to follow is an anti-inflammatory diet in order to counteract all of that, right? So let's cut through the clutter and look at the foods that you would eat on an anti-inflammatory diet and the foods, of course, that you would avoid. And at the end of this video, what I'll do is share with you a complete guide as to the foods you can have when you're following an anti-inflammatory diet. So let's go ahead and look at the food you should avoid first of all. So these are going to be sugar, okay? Sugar feeds inflammation in the body. We want to avoid it. If you don't want inflammation, avoid sugar of all sorts. Go to a sugar-free diet. It is going to be one of the most transformational things that you've done for your energy levels, for your brain health, and of course to avoid real heartache one day like heart disease and cancer. So going sugar-free, avoid refined carbs. When you go to the grocery store and you're seeing bagels and cereals and all these different packaged foods that are full of not only sugar but refined carbohydrates, you want to stay away from those because they're highly inflammatory, and I am sure that they are full of artificial flavors and artificial ingredients that are made in a lab but not found in nature, that are going to further drive inflammation in your body. We also want to avoid grains, okay? Unfortunately, today, this whole gluten thing has become a disaster and almost everybody reacts poorly to gluten. Sure, you may not have celiac disease, but that does not mean that you won't react poorly to gluten. So avoiding grains is going to be really powerful during this time because the grains today aren't the grains that our grandparents used to eat. It's a different world out there, and unfortunately, food has changed dramatically, especially with all the genetically modified foods out there. Now, we also want to make sure we're avoiding seed and vegetable oils, okay? So vegetable oils like corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower seed oil. These different oils we want to make sure we're avoiding because they are highly inflammatory, rich in omega-6s, which causes more inflammation in the body when you're consuming excessive amounts of them. We also want to make sure that we're avoiding trans fats like hydrogenated oils, okay? These are also highly inflammatory. And as we look at the research, we're seeing more and more that these oils are a huge culprit when we look at their correlation with all the different major diseases out there that people face at an enormous level. So start avoiding these foods and go over to whole foods. Think of an anti-inflammatory diet this way. If it's found in nature, then it is something that is going to be healthier for you, okay? We want to be eating foods that are found in nature. So we want to eat whole foods. Foods like fruits, specifically sticking to berries. If you're trying to really lower inflammation in your body, stick to berries because they're micronutrient dense and low glycemic. Now, we also want to make sure that we're eating good, healthy meats. Make sure that we're getting pasture-raised meats. Free-range chickens, okay? So we want to make sure that we're always getting quality meats and not getting processed meats that you might find in a deli where they're slicing it up for you, okay? So make sure that we're always getting good quality meats. And then vegetables, okay? We want to always stick to a lot of our more bitter vegetables, like our cruciferous vegetables, because those are the ones that just are so good for our liver and so good for the detox system in our body to help us stay healthy. So lots of good vegetables because, of course, we're going to get a lot of the different nutrients from them as well. And then good healthy fats. We're thinking coconut oil and olive oil and making sure that we're getting plenty of fats. And when we look at a good anti-inflammatory diet and the ratios in which you should be eating your macros, we always want to think high fat, moderate protein, and low carbohydrate. I think that anybody can live a really good life eating 100 grams or less of carbohydrates. You don't have to be keto, but just sticking to that 100 or less is going to put you in a really good place so that you're fighting off insulin resistance and all these inflammation issues that you are going to face if you're not sticking to this type of diet. So what I want to do now is give you a full list of different foods that you can eat on an anti-inflammatory diet. You can click on the link below and get a download, and that will give you a detailed guide as to the fruits, the vegetables, the meats, the spices, the fats, everything that you can have in order to successfully follow a good anti-inflammatory diet. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I think you'll really like this one over here next.